We're not doing any podcasting. We're putting the content on a hold for the moment. I don't like it, but Fabi's in the zone because I know my role, I know my job very well, and my job is to coach him the best I can, to give him the best information I can, and there's no extra pressure on me. Look, I've been a second during the World Championship match against Magnus. I would say that was the most pressure I felt as a coach, because also it was my first time, let's say, on the scene. Grigory is my student at the University of Missouri. I know his work, I know what he can do as a coach.
This, dear friends, is Cristian Chirila. He's a man who wears many hats in the world of chess. He's a grandmaster, he's a commentator. He started the C-Squared podcast with Fabiano Caruana. He's currently the second of Caruana at the candidates. He's also the captain of the Mizzou University and the coach there. An amazing personality who has achieved so much in the world of chess. I wanted to talk to him on the streets of Toronto and get to understand how he manages to do so many things and what is his vision in the world of chess.
Cristian, so we're doing the walking podcast with you.
Okay. First time for everything.
But of course, when it comes to podcasts, you and Fabiano are the OGs, so cannot compete there.
Now we're getting some very stiff competition from ChessBase India. I have to say, I've been watching your vlogs, I've been watching your podcasts, and they're absolutely amazing. And I'm very happy that you guys are introducing new elements into absolutely everything you do. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Cristian, this is an absolutely massive event that's happening here in Toronto, Canada. How are you feeling about it? I understand that you play many roles over here. You are a friend, a second.
I would say on this one, obviously a friend. I will always be a friend to Fabi, bearing something crazy happening. But no, on this one I am a second. We're not doing any podcasting. We're putting the content on a hold for the moment. I don't like it, but Fabi's in the zone. I feel that he wants to stay in the zone. He doesn't want to have any, let's say, media disturbance, and he doesn't want to do podcasts, put his thoughts out there as much, and I respect that. I think, he knows himself as a player the best, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get out of him. I'm trying to get the best out of him, and I respect his, let's say, decisions in that regard.
It's also sometimes quite difficult to switch modes, right? Like you guys can see content all around. You can see issues cropping up somewhere here, and there's always scope for discussion. A lot of people are interested, but then you have to stay away from it.
Yes, and that's a very good point. We try to stay disconnected. I'm not staying as disconnected. Fabi, in fact, stays very, very disconnected. He barely uses his phone. He doesn't take his phone with him pretty much anywhere, only like half an hour at night. So he disconnected. He's out of YouTube, out of Twitter, out of social media. So I think this is something that he kind of understood with experience, that it helps him as a player. It helps him focus better. And for me, it doesn't really matter because I know my role, I know my job very well, and my job is to coach him the best I can, to give him the best information I can, and to be a good friend in a very tense and difficult moment, and that's going to last for 3 weeks.
Yes. Well, everyone's talking about how Fabi is the favorite here. He's the rating favorite. He played 2023 so well.
Yeah.
He performed amazingly well. Does that put pressure on you as a second?
No, I try not to think about those type of things. I don't think Fabi thinks about those type of things either. I'm sure he sees himself as a favorite, just like every other player should see themselves as favorites. This is such a close event. Everybody's so good. Everybody's the best prepared they can be. And, they've put in tremendous work with their coaches, with their teams, since they found out, since they managed to qualify to the candidates. So whoever is in the best shape in this particular tournament, that player is going to win. And we cannot know until we have a few rounds of information. Let's say right now we're doing this during the second round. We still haven't gathered as much information. Haven't been any decisive results so far. So yeah, it's just we're going to have to wait and see. But of course, to get back to your question, because I elaborated, I went all over the place. There's no extra pressure on me. I mean, look, I've been a second during the World Championship match against Magnus. I would say that was the most pressure I felt as a coach, because also it was my first time, let's say, on the scene. I helped him in 2018 during the candidates, but before the candidates, I was not there for the candidates. Rustam was there at the time for the candidates. But yeah, I don't feel any extra pressure.
And here also, it's not just you, there's also Oparin.
That's
and
right.
It's been a wonderful partnership with him.
That's right.
He's always helped Fabi perform well in the past.
Yes, absolutely. I want to say their first tournament together was Bucharest 2023, last year, I believe in May. So since then, I mean, 2023, he's been winning a lot of tournaments. Grigory is my student at the University of Missouri. I know his work. I know what he can do as a coach and as a second, and he's putting tremendous work, and he's helping Fabiano accomplish a lot of his goals throughout his last year. So yeah, he's doing very good work. I would say we're having a pretty cohesive team right now.
It's beautiful. You know, I've seen teams working, and I know the amount of effort it goes into such an event, the focus that is needed.
Yes.
And that makes me wonder, how do you manage it? Because you are no longer sort of one job person.
Right.
You are a coach of a team in a university.
Yes.
You run a podcast. You have business. You know, you are now a second. So, is it difficult for you to focus when you're doing so many things? Then you need to come out of them. Focus on this job?
It's something that I've gotten used to. I've also I would say that I'm embedded into the chess world 24/7. Like everything I do professionally is chess. Whether that's going to be seconding, coaching the university team. Like for example, we had a training camp just before the tournament, and then from the 29th through the 1st, we went and played with the collegiate team. We played the Final Four of collegiate chess. And after that, immediately the next day, we flew to Toronto with Grigory and I to help Fabiano. So it's a balancing act, but I've gotten accustomed to it, and I think I can wear those hats well enough.
It's amazing. I personally think it's a superpower because it's not easy.
What you're doing is a superpower. You're everywhere.
Well, I can tell you that I do many things.
Yes.
But when it comes to focusing really hard, like a seconding job or you know even playing chess, I find it tough because.
And that's why we've put the podcast on hold for this particular month, because I cannot. Like, there's zero chance that I can do anything outside of seconding right now. This is right now a very, very tense and a very demanding job, and it's going to be that way for the next 3 weeks.
Amazing. Could you tell us how was it that you became close friends with Fabi? Did you know him since a very young age?
No, we met in 2014, I want to say, during the first edition of the Millionaire Chess Open, a tournament organized by Maurice Ashley.
Yes.
First edition in 2014, only 3 editions. I missed that tournament a lot, Maurice, if you hear it. Make it happen again. But yes, I think that was the first time we met. We only started working together later on, 2018, as he was getting ready and trying to build up a team for the Candidates tournament. That's kind of when we started working together. Took a break around 2020 and then back to it a few years back. So yeah, we kind of built a friendship from the ground up, and then it just turned into a professional relationship as well, to try to help him accomplish his goals.
So what about Fabi as a person you like a lot?
He's a very level-headed individual. he analyzes things very well. He doesn't get emotional. He keeps you grounded. He keeps his sphere of influence grounded. So I like that very much about him. And yeah, I'm learning a lot of things whenever I'm around him.
And then when did you guys decide to do this C Squared podcast? I remember it was one fine morning I wake up and there's a podcast where you guys have started. And I thought, okay, it's interesting. It will be done for a few times and then Fabi will have his events. It will be tough.
It's not easy.
Yes.
I'll tell you that much. It's not easy, and we're still trying to find.
No, but it's
the
going
best system.
on. It's going
still
on
going
and it's
on.
consistent. Did you guys envisage this happening? Has it exceeded your expectations? Has it gone as per plan?
For sure, yes. No, it definitely has exceeded our. You cannot go into these things with too many expectations, right? You're going to put your best foot forward, basically, put the best product out there, and that's kind of something that we wanted from the get-go. Put something that hasn't been seen in the chess world up to that point, and I think we managed to do so. Because there used to be the chess podcasts, but they didn't have the visual component to it, and this is something that we tried to add from the get-go, and I think this is something that the people enjoyed, the guest interviews and so on and so forth. And from my perspective, at least at that point, it was also something that Fabi needed to kind of get his mind out. He was kind of in a slump, and I wanted to create something to get him out of that slump as well. And it felt like that clicked with him also. And in terms of its success, I'm very happy that people like it. That's all I can say. And for me, it's a privilege to be able to speak with so many interesting people in the chess world, to have access to one of the greatest minds on a weekly basis.
Yes.
As a chess enthusiast myself, I mean, it's just incredible. And I'm trying to think of any other sport in which the second best player in the world exposes his thoughts on a weekly basis. I cannot think of that. So, yeah, I think it brings something special to the chess world for sure.
We as chess fans are spoiled, in a way, because you have world number 3 streaming every day.
Exactly.
And world number 2 doing podcasts. So
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
It's amazing.
I mean, Hikaru is also doing amazing with his career as a streamer. He likes to call himself a streamer first. But look, I mean, this is something that has helped him tremendously also in his chess career as a whole, in his playing chess career, because he was also in more of a slump, and then he got out of that through streaming, through building up this community that motivated him and gave him the energy necessary to compete at the highest level once again. And I mean, right now Hikaru is doing absolutely tremendous. So yeah, sometimes that's an avenue to get out of a bad period.
do you think that top players need something like this as their voice? Because you see, for example, let's say Anish, very active on Twitter,
yes,
and he can, say something, it's there. Also, we see Levon these days very active on Twitter whenever he wants to say something. And now whenever Fabi says something, or, you guys discuss, it's out there, people want to know. Do you think it's become a modern day necessity?
It is. It definitely is a modern day necessity. As a top player, you need to have, I think, a voice, and it's important to build that voice up. And I feel a lot of players are starting to come to that realization. We're living in a media based world. There's content everywhere. Everybody's with their phones in their hands at all times, trying to look for the next piece of content. So as a chess player and as a top level chess player, you should be building up your online persona as well. And I think a lot of the players are starting to realize that and try to adapt to the new reality.
And when it comes to this podcast, your role, is it to sort of give direction to where this is going? So you maybe say, okay, we need to do this, and then you kind of ask Fabi if he's free.
Yes.
How does it go?
Yes, I try to, let's say, maintain a schedule. That's very important because especially it's very difficult whenever he plays tournaments, and that's very normal. Again, he's a player that likes to stay in the zone when he's during competition, and I think that's a very normal thing to do. So I try to piece together the content, schedule the content, obviously host with Fabiano, find guests, things of that nature. Logistics, basically. The logistics behind the channel, I'm trying to take care of myself. And, he's the superstar.
It's brilliant. The combination is amazing. I was here downstairs yesterday, and someone came up to me and said, I enjoy following C Squared podcast so much. Also because of the objectivity that they bring in to any situation. There's no kind of drama. There's just direct opinions which are given.
Yeah.
And I think it's also brave what you guys are doing, because you're touching upon many subjects that could potentially be dangerous as well.
Right. I guess that's one of the things that we also wanted to have as we build up this project. A place to express our very spontaneous, sometimes controversial views, and try to analyze the chess world and be one of the voices within the chess world. You are one of them. There are so many nowadays, but we wanted to also be one of the voices of the chess world and be able to express our spontaneous and authentic views.
Brilliant. And you yourself are also the coach of Mizzou University.
Yes.
How has that been going? How long has it been since you have been in that role?
It's been 5 years now. We're going on 5 years.
5 years?
Yes, 5 years. We started the program in February 2019. Right now we had the most successful year. We won the Pan Americans and the Final Four alongside other national Rapid and Blitz titles. So it's been a very, very successful year for us. Now the season is over. Now I can focus on the candidates. But yes, it's been a project that's very close to my heart, and I would say all of the players, it's a big responsibility for me to take on the players that are at that stage in their lives when you're at 18 to 20 years of age, you're looking for your next step in your life. You're looking to build a career either in the chess world, either outside of the chess world. And Mizzou is one of the best ways to do so, in my estimation, just because we offer you the possibility to take your education to the next level. Mizzou is a worldwide, well-known institution and quite well ranked in the United States as well. You can get an elite level degree, and you can also pursue your chess dreams while at the university. And it's especially during the pandemic, like this is a period of years where a lot of the chess players were not playing a lot. They didn't have the opportunities to do a lot. They were sitting at home waiting for the next event. The players that we had at the university, they had classes, they had projects that they had to finish. We were able to support their tournaments and tournament schedule as well. They had a team, and I think this is also very important because we see chess as very much an individual-based level, but you need the team to surround you to be able to train well, to be able to have a good, positive attitude about life in general, to be honest. And I think the team at Mizzou has done quite well for the players involved. So
it's simply amazing because I know it from even Harshit, who is a good friend.
Harshit Raja, yeah, he's doing commentary for ChessBase India during the candidates, yeah.
Exactly, and he managed to achieve his GM title after coming to Mizzou.
Yes.
And also I heard one of his interviews and he looked so much at peace at not being, in a hurry to achieve his title, balancing everything. I guess the institution and you have a role to play here.
Look, and this is a two-sided, let's say, coin, because you hear from some people that you should not have a plan B. Plan A, that's all that matters, just dedicate yourself, and that's how you're going to become a world champion. I understand that mentality, and I commend that mentality very much, but I also understand the fact that you can build something and not only specialize on one thing. Maybe you don't want to become a world champion, maybe you don't have the capability to become world champion, but you can do other things as well, right? So you shouldn't limit yourself to only one type of mentality. You should understand yourself first, see where you stand in the chess world, in the real world in general, and take it from there. And I think having hopefully we're not going to hurt anybody. But yes, having that backup plan, it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. And I did my university here in the United States. It opened up so many doors for me. Just being able to get the experience from two continents. I mean, I grew up in Romania, then I moved to the United States. My English was terrible. It's still pretty bad, but I mean, it's better right now. It's better right now. So, getting that valuable experience that a university program gives you, I think it's immeasurable.
And you also are a commentator. I mean, when I see you commentating, a lot of energy, you are there. Is that something you enjoy doing?
I love commentating. Yes. No, I love commentating. And as I got out of university, that was one thing that I really wanted to do in the chess world. I wanted to become a commentator. And I enjoyed every single time I'm doing it. Usually for the Grand Chess Tour, St. Louis Chess Club and whatnot. And, I have to be very, very thankful of the St. Louis Chess Club because they gave me so many opportunities and they've been tremendous for my career. But yes, no, in terms of commentary, it's something that I really enjoy doing. It's something that, whenever I have the opportunity, I'm watching the games no matter what. If I'm staying at home, I'm going to be watching those tournaments. I get paid to do that as well. I mean, that's not bad at all. I get paid to interview Fabiano Caruana, Magnus Carlsen, Hikaru Nakamura, alongside guys like Yasser Seirawan, and I mean, these are legends of our game. So of course, I'm very grateful for those type of opportunities.
You spoke about St. Louis Chess Club and commentating there. A lot of people mention St. Louis is kind of having revolutionized chess.
Oh yeah.
What is your opinion on that, and how do you think has it played a role on the US chess particularly, but also on world chess?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just look at the talent that has been coming out of the United States since the inception of the St. Louis Chess Club, I would say. And I want to also shout out a lot of, like, some university programs as well. For example, UT Dallas, where I went to university, and the Dallas Chess Club. A lot of people within the Dallas chess scene are responsible for the emergence of super talents such as Jeffrey Zhang, for example, who is, I know Jeffrey since he was 10 years of age. That's when I was still beating him. It didn't take him long to start beating me. But who is here, by the way, at the candidates. But yes, the St. Louis Chess Club offered an avenue for players to earn a living. And this is huge, because that's what's going to nurture the ecosystem within the United States, for example, right? And within the world, because right now with the Grand Chess Tour, you see, once again, the opportunities that players of every caliber, to be honest, you have the wild cards. Right now in the Grand Chess Tour, you're gonna have some Indian players as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Gukesh is part of the Grand Chess Tour. Eric Aisi is going to get a wild card as well. Pragnananda, I think he's part of the Grand Chess Tour as a full-time player. So, I mean, it gives incredible opportunities to every single level of competition. And if you think about it that way, and by the way, the St. Louis Chess Club supports and helps the chess team at the university as well. They take talent from the scholastic level. They have, I believe, they are right now in about 150 schools within the St. Louis area. They take that, then they have the national level competition with the U.S. Championship. They do that, and then you also have the universities that they support, St. Louis University as well as University of Missouri. I would say without them, it's very difficult to imagine how the chess scene within the United States would have developed. I don't think we would be anywhere close to where we are right now.
Yeah.
Anywhere close.
And in fact, you know, when someone supports chess in any part of the globe,
Yes.
they start saying like,
It grows the whole. Yes.
he's like the Rex Sinkfield of India, or he's
Sure.
the Rex Sinkfield of Germany, or something
Sure.
like this. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's the impact that Rex has created.
I would say so. I would say so. He has changed, and you know, him and Jeannie Sinkfield, the co-founder of the St. Louis Chess Club, and everybody, to be honest, that works at the St. Louis Chess Club, because you know, you hear of the St. Louis Chess Club, you hear of Rex and Jeannie, of course, but you don't hear about the 30 people, 40 people, 50 people that work within that ecosystem to make everything happen. But it's so important. I mean, I'm living next to St. Louis. A lot of Fabiano has moved next to St. Louis because of that. Wesley has stayed there for
Yes.
a while. He's not next to St. Louis nowadays, but he's still working within the St. Louis Chess Club quite a lot. So yeah, they managed to build an ecosystem that it's speaking volumes in the chess world right now.
It's brilliant the way in which it has promoted chess all across the globe. You are such a, how would you say, well-rounded personality in the world of chess, doing all of this. What's your future aims now? What do you intend to do? Do you have any plans?
You're asking the very tough life questions, Sagar. You know, right now I'm trying to help
You're
Fabiano
so
become a world
successful.
champion.
Okay.
That's the main point right now. Of course, continuing building up the university program. That's a big one. That's, you know, that's the project that I helped start, and I would say it's very close to my heart. But for the moment, is trying to get Fabiano the World Championship title. And I know that's in conflict with a lot of your viewers, because you have Pragdanana, you have Gukesh here, you have Vidit as well. So, but you know, that's personally my goal. It's a very difficult one, but I like to keep myself motivated.
But I think a lot of the people, Indians and also across the world, love Fabiano so much, because he's like this guy who's achieved so much, and yet remains so modest and humble all the time.
Yeah, and you asked me previously what I like him as a friend and as a person. That's another thing. I mean, his incredible humbleness for what he has achieved in his life, just being so humble and being so relaxed around people, and being so friendly and able to be friends with pretty much anybody is an amazing thing to do, to be honest, when you're at that level.
And lastly, I want to ask you, the way in which you have built things up in your life, if you had to give one advice to budding chess talents, not just players, but in any field, like you can say content creation, commentators, trainers, what would it be? How to build things that are of value, like how you have done?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The good part about it is that right now, within the chess world, you have so many ways in which you can do that. One of the things that you should definitely be doing is putting yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to fail, because there will be failures along the way. But having a good energy, putting yourself out there, being able to do the work, because sometimes you just have to show up, and you will receive, once people start understanding that that's how you operate, that's how you work, you will get the opportunities as a coach, as a commentator, as whatever you want to be within the chess world. But that's the thing, right now you have so many ways in which you can build those avenues and you can build a career within the chess world for yourself.
Yeah, that's a great advice, putting yourself out there.
Yeah, and
then
having the resilience to keep pushing, for sure.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Cristian.
Thank you,
It was a
thank you.
pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure
30
was all
minutes
mine.
just flew by, understanding your life. Of course, a lot more could be spoken about it, but thank you so much for
Thank you. I
your
appreciate
time
it.
right now.
And thank you for everything you do, Sagar, with ChessBase India. I mean, you guys came out of nowhere, I want to say, and now you guys are pretty much one of the leading media companies, I guess, out there. You know, you guys are a big company by now. So congratulations to you as well.
Thank you so much.
For sure.